The message arrived without warning. In the Empire's command center, the large screen flickered to life, and a small, unfamiliar alien figure appeared. It had a thin, almost fragile body, with green-gray skin and wide eyes that seemed to hold both fear and urgency. The alien spoke in a voice that had been translated by the Empire's machines into basic galactic standard. "Do not approach Earth," it said. "The humans are not what you think. They survive where no species should. They grow fast, they learn faster, and they are ready. Turn back, or your fleet will not return." In the council chamber, Admiral Korvath leaned back in his chair, laughing. Around him, other senior officers whispered nervously, but Korvath waved them away. "Do you hear this?" he said, still chuckling. "A tiny alien warns us about a world that has barely left its system. Humans, ready? They are primitive. They cannot even fight properly. Ignore this message. We will go, we will see, and we will show them the Empire's strength." The officers exchanged uneasy looks. Some had heard rumors about humans, strange stories from scouts and old travelers who claimed humans could survive impossible conditions. But most considered these tales exaggerations. Earth had never been a serious threat. It was a planet of farmers, miners, and small cities. Nothing that could challenge the Empire. Yet Korvath was certain. He believed in the fleet, the Empire's weapons, and the soldiers trained to conquer any world. Far away, on Earth, the first signals of approaching ships were being picked up. Captain Laura King stood on the command deck of Earth's orbital station. She was calm, but inside, she felt the same tension that every officer felt when a large fleet from the Empire entered the solar system. She had seen humans under pressure before, but nothing on this scale. Earth had remained hidden for centuries, quietly growing, developing its technology in secret, and avoiding contact with other galactic powers. Now, secrecy was no longer an option. Commander Ryan Holt, standing beside her, pointed to the holographic display of incoming ships. "They are coming fast. Over 50 warships in formation. Their speed is higher than anything we expected from early reports." Laura nodded. "And they think we are weak. They think they can intimidate us. That's their mistake." Back in the Empire, the fleet prepared for the journey to Earth. The ships were massive, built for destruction. Each one carried hundreds of soldiers, advanced weaponry, and countless drones designed to disable entire planetary defenses. Korvath issued orders with precision. "Set course for the third planet. Engage at maximum speed. I want Earth under our control, before they even realize we are here." The journey was long, taking weeks of travel through the outer systems. On board the human orbital station, scientists and engineers worked in silence, monitoring every step of the Empire fleet. Every maneuver they observed was recorded, every ship scanned for weaknesses. Humanity had spent decades preparing for this day. They had trained soldiers, built hidden weapons systems, and perfected strategies designed to protect Earth without firing a single shot too early. Meanwhile, Admiral Korvath and his officers remained overconfident. They discussed humans as if they were insects. Primitive species, weak minds, easy to crush, one officer said. Another added, "They won't even understand what hit them." But back on Earth, Laura King did not underestimate the Empire. She had learned to respect even small threats and to plan for the unexpected. She moved quietly through the command deck, checking reports, confirming readiness, and speaking to her officers. "We must stay calm," she said. "They expect fear. We cannot give them that. Every move we make must be precise and measured." Commander Holt studied the fleet's trajectory. "Their formation is tight. They rely on strength and intimidation. They won't expect us to be organized." Laura smiled faintly. "Then we will give them what they don't expect." As the Empire fleet entered the outer boundary of the solar system, they began to receive transmissions from Earth. The first was short, polite, and almost friendly. "This is Captain Laura King of the Earth Defense Station. You are entering our territory. We ask that you stop and identify your intentions. Korvath laughed again. Stop? Identify? Ridiculous. Reply, and tell them we demand surrender. Humans must obey. They cannot resist the Empire. The message was sent. It went across space and reached Earth's monitors. Laura read it carefully, then spoke to her officers. They think this is a negotiation. It is not. We reply with calm, not fear. They should see us as equals, not prey. The humans prepared in silence. Beneath the planet's surfaces, hidden bunkers and control centers hummed with activity. Engineers checked the drones, scientists calibrated the orbital defense arrays, and soldiers reviewed battle simulations. Earth's hidden defenses were ready, but the human leadership did not want conflict unless it was necessary. They believed in survival first, victory second. In orbit, small stealth ships moved into position, unseen by the Empire's sensors. Around Jupiter, advanced drones awaited orders. They were designed for precision strikes, to disable without destroying, to incapacitate without unnecessary risk. Laura watched the holographic display showing their locations. Every piece must work perfectly, she said. Korvath, on the other hand, did not worry about preparation. He had not believed the Tulari warning. In his mind, humans were primitive. He saw their calm messages as weakness, their hidden systems as untested technology. The Empire will strike, and they will fall, he said to his officers. Mark my words. They cannot survive our first attack. Weeks passed as the fleet approached Earth. Humans continued to monitor and prepare quietly, never revealing their full strength. They knew the Empire would not expect a fully coordinated defense, especially one designed to immobilize rather than destroy. On Earth, civilians were aware that something was coming. Governments issued calm statements, urging citizens to remain inside and stay safe. People trusted their leaders because they had always trusted in human ingenuity. Engineers and scientists, doctors and pilots, all worked in secret to ensure that the planet's defenses would operate smoothly. Captain Laura King convened a final meeting with her command officers. This is it, she said. They have ignored every warning. They believe Earth is weak, but they do not understand us. Remember, our goal is survival. We do not fight for conquest, but we will defend everything we hold dear. Stay calm, stay sharp, and trust your training. Commander Holt nodded. We are ready, Captain. Let them underestimate us. It will be their greatest mistake. Far ahead, the Empire fleet continued, unaware of the silent network of humans tracking their every movement. The largest ship, the command cruiser, broadcast the Empire's presence, displaying its power to intimidate. Yet humans did not react with fear. They watched, calculated, and waited. The Tulari message haunted a few officers in the Empire, though they did not speak of it aloud. Some wondered if humans were more than they appeared. But Korvath dismissed any doubt. Fear makes enemies stronger. We must not let it touch us. On Earth, hidden satellites measured the Empire's energy emissions. Scientists calculated trajectories, predicted attack patterns, and ran countless simulations. The humans had not prepared for destruction alone, they had prepared to survive, to outthink, and to outmaneuver. Their patience was their weapon. As the Empire fleet moved closer, humans activated defensive protocols, not visibly, but in preparation. Shields were calibrated, stealth vessels moved into position, and the planet itself was ready to respond if necessary. Laura King observed everything calmly, her hands resting lightly on the command console. They will see us soon, she said softly. And when they do, they will learn why Earth is not to be underestimated. Admiral Korvath gave the order to continue. Advance. Show our strength. Let them know the Empire demands obedience. The humans watched silently, waiting. They did not panic. They did not react aggressively. And they did not make unnecessary movements. Every step was deliberate. Every action calculated. They understood that sometimes the greatest weapon is patience and preparation. And as the Empire fleet closed in, confident in their superiority, Earth's defenses stood ready. Captain Laura King and Commander Ryan Holt knew that the first contact would not be simple. But they also knew that humanity would survive. For centuries, humans had endured, adapted, and overcome. The Empire believed they were superior, but Earth had one advantage the galaxy could not measure: the ability to think, to adapt, and to fight in ways no one expected. The warning from the Tulari was now clear. Humans were not to be underestimated. They would defend their homes silently, but with all the precision and strength that only centuries of survival on a death world could teach. As the two fleets prepared to meet, the galaxy held its breath. The Empire was about to discover that what they saw as a weak, primitive species was, in fact, one of the most dangerous forces they had ever underestimated. Humans waited, calm and patient, ready to show the true meaning of survival, ingenuity, and courage. The Empire fleet moved slowly into the inner solar system. Their massive warships glinted in the distant light of the sun. To the Empire officers, the planet below seemed peaceful, almost fragile. They could not imagine that this small blue world held the kind of power that the Tulari had warned about. Captain Laura King and Commander Ryan Holt watched the fleet from Earth's orbital station. The tension on the station was quiet, almost like a calm before a storm. Laura's eyes moved over the holographic display, following each ship in the Empire fleet. "They are confident," she said softly. "They believe the planet is weak. That is their mistake." Ryan nodded. "We have studied their formation. They are fast, strong, and well-organized, but their overconfidence will work against them." The first communication came from Admiral Korvath. His voice was calm but carried authority. "Humans, identify yourselves. You are under observation by the Empire. You will surrender peacefully, and we will allow your people to live." Laura pressed a button on her console. Her voice was calm, steady, and firm. "This is Captain Laura King of the Earth Defense Station. We will not surrender. We ask that you leave peacefully. Any hostile action will be considered an act of war." The Empire officers murmured. Some laughed at the response, while others were uneasy. Korvath leaned back in his chair, dismissing their worries. "They are bluffing. They are weak. And they do not know what true power is." Back on Earth, humans continued their preparation quietly. Orbital drones moved into hidden positions near Jupiter and Saturn. Stealth ships shifted to cover the outer planets. Every sensor and satellite scanned the incoming fleet. Engineers double-checked the electronic countermeasures designed to disable enemy weapons and disrupt their communications. Humans did not intend to fight if they could avoid it, but if the Empire attacked, they would respond with precise, overwhelming force. As the Empire fleet drew closer, Korvath ordered his ships to lower their energy shields slightly to appear friendly. He wanted humans to feel threatened. "Not attacked immediately. We will show them strength, but not too soon," he said. "They will surrender when they see our power." On Earth, Laura King reviewed the data from the outer sensors. "They think they are in control," she said. "They do not know what waits for them." Commander Holt tapped the screen, highlighting weak points in the fleet. "Their formation is strong in front but weak in the rear. They rely on brute force. Their sensors assume nothing can hide in space, but we have shadows they cannot see." Laura smiled slightly. "Then we use the shadows. Let them move where we want them to move." For days, the two sides watched each other. The Empire believed humans were scared, weak, and primitive. But humans were calm, silent, and ready. Every movement they made was careful, designed to mislead the enemy into believing the planet was unprepared. Then the first test came. A small Imperial cruiser moved ahead of the main fleet to scout Earth's defenses. It sent a probe, a small ship intended to test for weapons or sensors. Laura King watched the probe appear on the screen. "It is testing us," she said. "Do not react too soon. Let it show its full strength, then we respond." Ryan Holt nodded. "We wait for the signal." The probe moved closer to the planet, scanning and broadcasting its findings. Suddenly, The communications from the probe were jammed. Humans had activated electronic countermeasures, silent and invisible. The probe system started to fail. Within minutes, it was completely disabled and harmlessly drifted into orbit. On the Empire fleet, alarms rang. "The probe is disabled," one officer shouted. "How is this possible?" Korvath's face tightened, but he did not show fear. "They are small, but clever," he said. "Prepare for all possibilities. Do not underestimate them." Laura King and Ryan Holt watched the disabled probe drift past. "They are learning," Laura said quietly. "But it is too late. They have already underestimated us too much." The Empire fleet continued its approach. They had brought dozens of ships in formation, relying on numbers and firepower. But every step they took was monitored. Every movement was predicted. Humans had prepared traps in space that the Empire could not see. Stealth ships waited behind asteroids and gas clouds, ready to disrupt the fleet's systems if needed. Korvath ordered a show of power. Energy beams shot from the main ships toward the outer planets, lighting up the darkness of space. It was meant as intimidation. The humans on Earth did not panic. Instead, they activated another layer of defense: gravity lens displacement fields. Invisible to the enemy, these fields created distortions in space, bending the trajectory of energy weapons. The beams missed by meters, harmlessly spreading into empty space. "Every move they make, we can handle," Ryan said. "We have prepared for everything they know and everything they don't know." Then the moment of decision came. Korvath signaled the fleet to encircle Earth, ready to strike at the first sign of resistance. He believed a display of power would force surrender. What he did not know was that every step of the encirclement had been anticipated by humans. Drones and stealth ships moved silently around the perimeter, ready to trap the fleet. Laura King gave the order. "Activate outer defense grid. Move drones into position. Let them believe they are safe." The grid silently powered on. Tiny vessels moved into position, invisible to the enemy sensors. Earth's defensive satellites aligned their energy emitters for precision targeting. Humans had not yet fired a shot, but the Empire was now inside a carefully planned trap. A few of the Empire officers began to worry. "Captain, their calmness is unusual," one said. "We expected fear. Why do they not panic?" Korvath waved them off. "Humans are primitive. They are calm because they are weak and do not understand danger. Do not let it fool you." Hours passed, and the fleet moved closer to Earth. Communication attempts continued, but humans responded politely. Never with anger. Never with fear. The Empire saw this as submission. "They are afraid," Korvath said aloud. "Soon, they will surrender." Suddenly, a small fleet of human drones appeared around the outer ships. They were silent, fast, and precise. Sensors on the Imperial ships detected anomalies, but it was too late. The drones moved to disable key systems, propulsion, weapons, and communications. In minutes, several ships were drifting without control, unable to fire or move properly. "What is happening?" one officer shouted. "Our systems are failing." Korvath's face darkened. "Do not panic," he said firmly. "We will regain control." But control was slipping. Earth's drones continued to move with perfect coordination. Every ship that tried to adjust or fire was intercepted. The Empire fleet was trapped, but they did not know it yet. They believed the humans had no power. They had no idea that every sensor, every drone, and every stealth ship had been placed with precision to immobilize them. Laura King watched the fleet's confusion from the command deck. "Now we show them," she said. Ryan Holt nodded. "We disable without destroying. Let them see what they have underestimated." The human ships moved into action. They surrounded the crippled Imperial ships. Gravity lens propulsion allowed humans to appear in unexpected locations, behind enemy lines. Systems that once seemed untouchable were now paralyzed. The Empire had no idea where the attacks came from. Every movement of humans was silent, precise, and unstoppable. In the council chamber, Korvath struggled to maintain composure. "What is this?" he demanded. "How are they doing this?" "Captain, they are using tactics we have never seen," an officer said. "Every attack is perfectly coordinated. They know our movements before we make them." Korvath's hands clenched. "Humans are more advanced than we thought." On Earth, Laura King issued the next order. "Keep them contained. Do not fire lethally unless necessary. Make them understand that aggression will fail." The Imperial fleet tried to jump out of the system, but humans had activated interdiction fields. Their jump drives shut down. Panic spread among the officers. They realized they were trapped, surrounded by a species they believed to be primitive. Korvath finally understood the warning from the Tulari. He had ignored it, believing humans could not be a threat. Now he realized that underestimating humans was the greatest mistake an empire could make. Laura and Ryan watched silently. They did not celebrate. Humans had not won yet, but they had shown the Empire that Earth was not weak. Every move the Empire made was being monitored. Every attack neutralized. The lesson was clear. Humans survived, adapted, and struck with precision. Korvath finally spoke, his voice low and tense. They are not primitive. We misjudged them," Laura King replied, calm and steady, though she spoke across space. "We are not your enemies, unless you choose to be. But we will defend our home, and we will survive. Do not mistake patience for weakness." The trapped fleet slowly understood the truth. The humans had allowed them to enter, to see, to underestimate. And now, Earth controlled the battlefield completely. What they had thought would be an easy victory had become a lesson in humility. As Part 2 ended, the stage was set for the final confrontation. Humans had immobilized the Empire fleet, shown their strength, and demonstrated that underestimating Earth was a deadly mistake. The Empire had been warned, and now they were trapped in the solar system, facing a species that had mastered survival and precision in ways they could not imagine. The Empire fleet floated silently in the outer edges of the solar system. Ships that had once been confident and powerful now drifted without control. Systems were failing, weapons were disabled, and the crews were panicked. No one had ever expected this. No one had ever imagined a species could immobilize a fleet this size without even firing full-strength attacks. Captain Laura King watched the fleet from the command deck of Earth's orbital station. Her eyes scanned the holographic displays, showing the trapped ships, their weapons paralyzed, and their engines offline. She remained calm, as she always did. Humanity had not rushed into violence. They had allowed the Empire to make the mistake of underestimating them. Commander Ryan Holt stood beside her, analyzing the fleet's remaining systems. "They still have power in some weapons," he said, "but most of their fleet is immobilized. If they try to fight, it will fail. They cannot escape." Laura nodded. "We do not need to destroy them. They need to understand. Every species that comes to Earth must learn that we do not submit, but we are not reckless." On the command bridge of the Imperial flagship, Admiral Korvath's face was pale. His confident expression had disappeared, replaced with fear and disbelief. He studied the holographic display of Earth's forces, trying to understand how a planet he considered primitive could achieve such control. "Captain," an officer said, trembling, "they have disabled our fleet without destroying us. They are invincible?" Korvath's hand clenched the edge of his console. "No," he said sharply. "They are humans. They are clever, patient, and dangerous. We ignored warnings, and now we are trapped. Prepare for their next move. Stay alert." The humans did not attack. Instead, stealth ships moved silently among the Empire vessels, inspecting systems, observing crews, and gathering intelligence. Every ship was catalogued, every weakness noted. Drones hovered near damaged engines, ready to disable them completely if necessary. The Empire had assumed humans were weak, but humans were demonstrating the kind of power that could control an entire fleet without firing one fatal shot. On Earth, civilians and scientists monitored the situation with awe. They had never revealed the full extent of humanity's defenses before. They had survived harsh worlds, mastered technology quietly, and learned strategies that no one else could imagine. Humanity had built its survival into every system, every ship, and every plan. Now, the galaxy would see what survival meant. Laura King pressed a button and activated a communication link to the Imperial fleet. "This is Captain Laura King of the Earth Defense Station. You are in our control. Your weapons are disabled. Your engines are offline. You have two choices. You may leave peacefully, or you may attempt to fight and be escorted from this system permanently." Korvath hesitated. He had never received such calm authority from a species he believed to be primitive. "They speak as equals," he whispered to himself. "How is this possible?" "Raider," one of his officers replied. "They are not equal, Admiral. They are beyond our understanding." Korvath's hand shook as he issued a reluctant order. "All ships, cease hostile activity. Follow the instructions from Earth. Prepare to retreat under escort. We have no choice." The humans allowed the fleet to prepare for departure. Stealth vessels moved to positions along the fleet's path. Drones monitored every ship to ensure they did not attempt escape or attack. For the first time, the Empire realized that humanity's patience was also power. Laura King watched from the station. "They understand now," she said. "They thought fear would control us. But fear does not control humans. Precision, patience, and knowledge control outcomes." Ryan Holt nodded. "We have shown them the consequences of underestimating a Death World species. They will remember this for generations." As the Imperial ships moved under escort, humans allowed them to pass without lethal force. Every ship was scanned. Every system noted. By the time they left the solar system, the Empire had learned a lesson they would never forget. They had come with arrogance, expecting an easy conquest. They left with humility, their pride shattered, and their confidence shaken. In the command center, Laura King deactivated the communication link and turned to her officers. "We did not need to destroy them," she said. "We showed them that strength is not only weapons. Strength is strategy, patience, and the will to survive." News of the event spread quickly across the galaxy. The Tulari and other species that had warned the Empire were amazed. They had spoken truthfully, but no one had listened. Now, the story of humanity's calm, precise, and unstoppable defense reached every corner of space. Back on Earth, celebrations were quiet. Humans did not boast, but they took pride in knowing they had protected their home without unnecessary bloodshed. Engineers, scientists, and officers returned to their work, preparing for future threats. Humanity had survived, adapted, and proven that even the greatest powers could not overwhelm them. Meanwhile, Admiral Korvath and his officers attempted to report back to the Empire. Their messages carried the story of a species they had underestimated. A species that could control an entire fleet without traditional weapons. The Empire's leaders listened in disbelief. They had underestimated humanity for centuries. Now, they faced a species that refused submission and could not be defeated by force alone. In the coming months, other species began to treat humans with caution. Diplomats approached cautiously, and scouts reported the existence of humans in systems previously ignored. The story of Earth's defense became a legend. A reminder that no species should assume another is weak, simply because it is small or unknown. On the orbital station, Captain Laura King and Commander Ryan Holt continued their work. They prepared plans, trained crews, and ensured that Earth's defenses would remain ready for any threat. "They will come again," Ryan said. "Other species will test us." Laura nodded. "Let them come. They will find that humans are patient, precise, and never weak. They may have fleets, but we have knowledge, strategy, and survival built into every step we take." The Empire fleet was never the same again. Its officers carried the memory of their defeat, their pride wounded. Across the galaxy, rumors and stories spread about a planet where humans had trapped and controlled a fleet larger and stronger than they had imagined. Every species that had once laughed at humans now approached with caution and respect. Earth returned to quiet normalcy. Life continued on the planet below as if nothing had happened, but the humans who had faced the Empire knew the truth. Humanity had survived not because of weapons alone, but because of intellect, patience, and courage. They had demonstrated that the smallest species, when underestimated, could achieve the greatest victories. Years later, Captain Laura King would speak to new officers joining Earth's defense program. "Never underestimate anyone," she said. "Strength is not only in the size of your fleet or the power of your weapons. True strength is in preparation, patience, and the courage to act when the moment is right." Humanity survived because we never forgot this. We learned, we adapted, and we stood firm. That is why no one will ever underestimate Earth again. Commander Ryan Holt added, "The galaxy will remember. We do not attack without reason, but we defend without hesitation. Our people survive, and our home remains safe. That is the way of humans." In time, the Empire rebuilt its fleets, but the memory of their defeat remained. They remembered a planet they had once thought weak, a species they had mocked, and a fleet they could not control. Every officer who had served in that campaign carried the lesson. Never underestimate humans, for they survive where no one else can, and they fight in ways no one expects. And on Earth, humans continued to prepare, quietly, patiently, and always with the understanding that survival required more than weapons. It required thought, strategy, courage, and the will to never bow to threats. Humanity had proven its place in the galaxy. The warning from the Tulari had been real. The Empire had ignored it. And now the galaxy knew that humans were a force to be respected, not feared. The story of Earth's defense became a symbol across stars, a tale of calm precision, overcoming arrogance, and a testament to the power of a species that refused to be underestimated. Humans had won without reckless violence, showing that true strength is measured not by fear, but by knowledge, courage, and the unshakable will to survive. The Empire would never forget that lesson. And humans would never forget how close the galaxy had come to learning that the smallest mistake could cost the largest power everything. Captain Laura King looked out at the stars, calm and resolute. Ryan Holt stood beside her. They had survived, they had won, and Earth remained safe. Humanity's place in the galaxy was secure, not because they had destroyed their enemies, but because they had outthought them. The future awaited, full of new challenges and new threats. But one thing was certain. Humans would face them all. Patient, prepared, and unstoppable. And in every corner of the galaxy, the warning echoed again. Do not underestimate Earth. Do not underestimate humans. And never assume a species is weak until you have seen the full measure of their will.